In this exercise video, we're going to talk about how to self-mobilize your knee joint to be able to regain some better flexion ability or bending ability at the knee. So if you're having a hard time getting this knee all the way bent in and nice and snug, and let's say you're getting stuck around here, sometimes the knee joint itself needs to be moved around a little bit better and loosened up, and so you can self-mobilize at home using a towel. So what you're gonna do is get a towel, and you just want a little bit of one. So I'm just gonna use a little bit of a rolled towel here. So you can use something a little bit smaller, just depends on the size of your calves and your knee. But I'm gonna use something that's roughly about an inch or inch and a half thick. I'm gonna place that part up high in the back of the knee, as snug as I can get in the back of the knee crevice, and trying to get away from the bulky part of the calf muscle. And so we're gonna hold that nice and snug. We're gonna bend the knee to the point where you're getting some of the resistance and the knee's not wanting to bend any farther. And from here, with this towel in place and keeping it nice and snug, you're just gonna gently pull your heel towards your butt and then come back out. Pull your heel towards your butt, come back out. Heel towards your butt, and come back out. And gradually you should hopefully get a little bit farther with each pull of the leg. You only want to pull to the point where you're feeling a little bit of stretch or resistance, and then coming back out. So you don't want to pull as hard as you possibly can and be super aggressive. You just want to go to that first point of resistance and then pause and then come out. So you don't want to pull and crank on it as hard as you can, because that can be too aggressive and sometimes cause more pain and irritation in the knee than that's benefited. So you want to play around with the size of the towel roll to make sure it's effective for you. So if you try one size and it doesn't quite feel right, then try going up a little bit higher and seeing if that helps a little bit more. Or if you're really petite and small, then you may need to go a little bit less and start out really small. That just depends on your tolerance level and the size of your legs. So you can play around, the exact size doesn't matter too much. So that's a self-mobilization to get a little bit better flexion of the knee. Now, one other thing you can work on in this position too is, let's say you're getting close to the end range of motion. What you can also do is help pull a little bit inwards with that knee. So instead of pulling straight towards your butt, you can now turn a little bit. So I'm kind of turning my foot towards my opposite knee by just pulling a little bit more with my opposite hand. So as I'm pulling in, I'm giving a little bit of a rotation inwards and then back to neutral. Pull and rotate inwards and back to neutral. So you can play with that if you're getting close to your end range but just lacking those last few degrees of motion. Then try adding a little bit of that internal rotation.